Shri Arunachala Ramanaya.
Nirmanamoha Jitasankadosha Adhyatmanishtaha Vinivrattakamaha Dundvair Vimuktaha Sugatukkasankehi Gacchantyamuda Padamavyayantad. This is from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, Shloka 5. Free from pride and delusion, with the evil of attachment conquered, ever dwelling in the self, with desires completely rooted out, liberated from the pairs of opposites like pleasure and pain, the undeluded reach the eternal.
Thank you. Anyone has any question or anything to say?
This is Ambali. I have a question, Sanjay. Namaskar.
Yes, namaskar, Sajita. Namaskar. Please go ahead.
What's that?
Please go ahead, yes.
Okay. So the mind and body complex, it's like one unit, and self is here without involving in anything, but gives power to everything. And ego is the middleman, taking ownership of everything. If it is like that, say the ego is gone, then whatever sankalpas happening in the mind, is it like the sankalpas happening without any honor?
If the ego is not there, how can the sankalpas will be there? Because
if the ego is not.
Yeah, so.
No, I will listen to you. Just say.
Yeah. So when you say sankalpas, what do you mean by sankalpas? People's intentions and desires, isn't it? That's what you say, sankalpas?
Desires or like emotions, like a happiness, sadness, proud, whatever.
That is not sankalpas. What do you mean by sankalpas?
Okay. So I understood it wrong. I was thinking all these, like all the mind activities belongs to sankalpa. So it's not.
Sankalp means your intention, your desire. And also I need to tell you, it is not all or none. You can't say that you want to eat a fruit, it is a sankalpa, and then you are in a trap. Understanding is that the one who is always on the go, I have to do this, then I have to do this, who is always restless, I have to plan this, I have to, like that thing with anxiety, that thing with restlessness, that thing which carries the baggage of past experiences and continues its journey. I have to seek, now I have to know God, or I have to know self. This is ego. This is the one who owns this body mind. How much a person can say, I don't know body mind. But if he's working like this, he is totally into body mind complex. He is full of sankalpas, That is sankalpas, which keeps you on your toes. That is sankalpas. When you talk about emotions, emotions are thoughts with feelings. That is what emotions are. When you have a thought about anything from the past, that why this happened to me and this and all, that's just a thought. But thought with lot of attachment gives rise to feelings. So that is not sankalpa. But anyway, don't worry about these terminologies. What is sankalpa? What is not sankalpa? The main thing is you should understand your standpoint, where you act throughout the day. Do you act through awareness, as awareness, or do you act in this ego mode? The best test is if you feel agitated and upset and you always have my say in everything and why this thing happened, like that type of thing, if it comes even to your mind, that means you are in that ego mind complex. you know you can see people jumping. A weekend comes, they want to meet someone, they want to do something, and sometimes I ask people, without any reason, they just want to keep themselves busy. And you ask them and they say weekends are for friends and family, so we have to plan, we have to do this, and then we have to do that, and always on the go. I'm not saying that you should not meet people and friends and family, but the someone who is always want to fill up that space, understand this truth, fill up this space, is that ego only. Ego doesn't understand emptiness. Emptiness is boredom for ego. If you see, ego always looks into thoughts and wants to act on it. It has no clue about the space between thoughts, which is the source of Param Shanti. That supreme silence comes from that. That supreme silence comes from self. So understand this simple truth. It is very, very easy, very simple, without going into too many concepts. Anything which attaches you into a story, in a being, an object, and which causes some sort of agitation within your mind, within creating thoughts, that is only reporting to ego, reporting to a person who feels as if he is in control of things and is owner of the body and mind complex. This ownership of that this thing is like this, which is always projecting things, picking up things from the external. This whole is external world. What is not external world? Even at home, outside, you don't have to step outside the home. Inside the home, even before you open the eyes in morning, your word starts in your mind. Some people tell me that before they open their eyes, they plan whole day. Who is planning? So much planning. As if that absolute Paramatma is dumb. He doesn't know how to plan. We need to plan everything. Some people do so micro planning that they nothing leave to destiny or to that absolute. They plan everything. There is no faith in what comes. And the one who plans and plans and plans, because plans are coming from your ego. And when something else happens, you fall apart because you planned this. It didn't happen. It has happened this way. There is nothing wrong in planning, but understanding that the plan is already being made. You are just acting. If you stay and you know that is just an act of just, then there is no issue here. How you get established? When your projected mind with which you are going as your ego, searching, doing, claiming, desiring, loving, getting attracted to things, holding, when this starts looking within towards the source and paying attention to that stillness within, then because of the influence of that source, that awareness, that pure self which you are, that mind, the restlessness goes away. Restlessness of mind is only when it is looking outside. Ego is not anything separate, it is part of the mind only. That ahem bhav, they say, Bhagavan says, first thought is that ego, I thought, and everything comes after it. And this I thought is inherent as body mind complex, that now this body has to do, and I am the owner, so I have to think, and I am this, and then I am. Once you pick up I as reality, as the owner, then you don't question anything. So that's why the inquiry, like, who am I? You ask this question. You challenge that I. And when you challenge that I, in that scrutiny, that I disappears because there is no I. It is our illusion only. We all are that awareness. And when I use awareness, then people say we don't know what awareness is. Because ego can never know. You can be. Because awareness is not an object. Mind only knows things as an object. When we are reading a book, we only see words. We don't see the space. We don't notice that it was a blank page and then the words were printed on it. Same is this akash, this space is there. Always, even when the thoughts are there, self is there. Self is that space. Self is us. And thoughts are superimposed on it by mind. But there is chain of thoughts after thoughts after thoughts. Because of our interest in all those things. And if you see, as we are moving deep into Kali Yuga, some says Kali Yuga is almost getting over. But I can see we are more having gadgets and this flood of information and media. Previously, to meet someone, you have to leave home. Now you just sit in your room and you can talk to 100 people. It is good and it is bad as well. You're always in your mind, always interacting. There's hardly any chance to just be. So when this mind starts looking within, looking into that space, that stillness, that silence, then what happens is it derealizes unreality. Because what is unreal is real to us. When this unreal becomes unreal to us, then what is left is real. I don't know whether it became too complicated, but when the mind which is projecting outwardly, when it looks within, then the unreal falls away. And that unreal is this ego which keeps you on your toes all the time. It is a very unpleasant state, I should say. We only put a mask and go out to people. Oh, I am so happy. Look, I have achieved this and that and this and that, and try to fool the world. And everyone is fooling everyone. The world is full of foolish people only then. Look, I should respect, I'm respecting everyone in that sense, but I'm telling you from the crux, from the original problem. Because everyone is just trying to project outward, whether it is Facebook or whatever book, that I'm very happy. When you look within, then people admit they're full of suffering, sorrow, greedy, jealous, fearful, competitive. All these are sources of unhappiness. All
Okay.
sadhana, all practice is to make sure you stay in the egoless state. What we think, what we are, is illusion. And that illusion will go away when you start noticing your own stillness. Sajita, is it okay or I have explained?
Yes, yes. No. I got it. Thank you. Thank you. No, I was just listening to you. I didn't want to stop you in the middle. That's why I was quiet. Yeah. Thank you.
Some people have this idea about self realization that one day there will be some explosion, no thought will be left, and you will walk like a ghost in a thoughtless state, and there will be bliss pouring from all over the from heavens, and there will be some big aura when you walk around. This is all imagination of the mind which keeps you into the trap. So much expectations from something. I know some people who think they know self more than Bhagavan, and they understand comparative religion, and they can write books after books, and they can criticize others. Intellectual level, they can beat anyone. This is not realization of self at intellectual level. Self is that which is always there. When we come to that childlike innocence, and we were all born like that, by giving away all the tricks of the mind, because that mind is now absorbed in that pure bliss. It is enjoying so much so that it drops his head in shame. Because all honesty, even all wrong deeds of the mind, were to get some peace, some bliss, some rest. That ego was keeping mind on task, that you do this and you will get this and that's done. But it never ends. Then this ego gives another task to mind. Now do this, you do this. It is slavery of the mind. This complex needs to be broken between the ego and mind. If it stays intact, it will keep giving trouble to us. Tell me why all these fakirs and sage, they live in caves without clothes, beg. Because they are in so much of bliss, they know any act for any what gain. Because we in ego can think that doing this act will give us happiness. Collecting collectibles can give us some happiness. It is a myth. But if we go and talk to friends and family and the people around, everyone is trying to collect something. Collect name, fame, wealth, busy in activities unnecessarily. Yes, they get spurt of excitement, pleasure out of things. And then we get addicted to those activities. And when those activities are taken away from us, we feel unhappy. So we feel that that activity is the source of happiness which I can't get now. And so I'm unhappy. All seeking pleasure happens at the level of ego only. Ego gone, our quest for happiness ends. Our seeking pleasure ends. It's not that the one without ego is averse to happiness. He is happiness. But not that happiness which we know, which is touch and go. If you call thoughts coming as an issue, then that issue is not there in anyone who is established in self, because he can see it. If he wants to pick that with intuitiveness, he can pick it and use it. But he has ability to discard all of them. Because self has no intention to seek anything. Because whatever our seeking is to get happiness, to know, in a way, when mind projects outward and we want to seek anything, At the end, only unhappiness or suffering or we feel miserable. That is good, because then we start looking that is there anything more stable, and then this inward journey can start. This inner bliss can be attained by anyone, rich or poor, beggar or king, professional, unprofessional, whichever country, whichever religion. Whether the body is in pain, diseased, old, young, it is not dependent on anything. This you can see the compassion of Absolute. There is no demarcation here, no hierarchy. Our understanding about the truth, interest in truth, and putting efforts to get established in truth. That's all. Once we get established, it is effortless, it is natural. Then it becomes a big effort to go into the mind and act like that stupidity which we were doing before. Then we realize that we were wasting so much of energy in these mundane things which has no value. But I'll tell you that thing will have no value for you, but it will have so much value for others, and that's okay. You can't fix up people in your dream. You can be out of the dream. If they are interested, they will find the way out. I'll give you another secret about how it works. Always treat yourself as non-doer, as if you are just watching everything. Keep that bhav, that intention within you in every act, as if you are a ghost, you are nothing, you don't exist, you don't have a say, you are dust. Keep that bhav, that intention within you all the time. If you practice that, that will liberate you. In Hindi, there is a saying, Nirbal ke bal Ram, which means the one who is weak, his strength is Ram, his strength is God. So, what happens is when the ego melts away, ego goes away, when you think you are dust, then what is left shines through. And in this inner journey, you have to have a lot of patience, lot of courage, perseverance. Those are the rare like Bhagavan. Others have to really work hard. And Bhagavan says he also worked hard in the past. No one just gets it like this. And if you still are confused why you can't like this, because you self sabotage it. If you have interest in thousands of things, your mind is running outwardly all the time in so many things. How would you know who you are? Because the same instrument, mind, can help you to have darshan of that self. Mind is the veil which covers it. And what we call mind is this projected mind which is going for all things around us for because of our interest. If you have no interest, then mind will disappear. Mind is only serving you as ego. But if you stay in stillness, accepting things as they come, some people get annoyed with everyone for every reason. You can understand how restless that mind is. And some people don't say much, but then some things they are very much attached and they get deeply annoyed to an extent that they will stop talking to that person for next few weeks or something like that. So they have their weak points. Some people have everything as their weak point. Some people have few weak points but deep. And some people have nothing. They are so lazy to fight with anyone because they enjoy their own bliss. They think it's irrelevant. Wasting time putting your point. Even if that thing is whatever is it is happening. Again, you should not understand that a sage, if wrong thing is happening, he will keep quiet. It is also not that. But he will not create issues in his mind. If that moment needs his interference, he will jump into it. But not brooding about things. Understand this subtle concept, you can say, or understanding. It is mainly understanding. You don't have to develop a lot of concepts in it. Just understanding. Because understanding can be level of intellect, and you can stay as ego, and you can be a better ego. That can be a very big trap. A better ego can be a very big trap. Then nobody can fix a better ego. When we think we have done it or in peace, it is always good to be in a satsang, confirmed through scriptures or a teacher. Because some people, if you it's a half cooked, you have done it, there is some piece you have stopped moving inward and you think it's done, sort of thing, you can slide back. This question keeps coming, so many people keep asking whether one needs a guru or not needs a guru, and we have guru for everything. From our kinder we have a guru, and not one guru. In one class there are 5, 6, 7 subjects, we have teacher for everything. But when it comes to that ultimate, ego says I can do it, I don't need any guru. I think guru is needed for so many reasons. One is that he has gone through the path, he knows what are the issues, and he can help you, like in any journey. Second, you find something for which you have reverence, which can help to melt your ego. I think that is a major thing which helps us. Keeping a Bhagwan's picture is not a propaganda of Bhagwan. It is not that I am trying to spread Bhagwan's name. I am not an agent of Bhagwan or anything. But this is, I am sure, that if someone watches Bhagwan as a guru and puts his head down in his feet, his ego will definitely subside. That is for sure, and that is what is needed. That is why guru is so important. Another very important thing about guru is guru has power of grace, which we need to understand. Sharanagati, when you have surrendered to guru, then almost certain that he accepts you. Because he has no intention, you should understand this. But your sincere intention to be a devotee, that is more than enough. You don't need any formal initiation. So, this concept about external guru is important in that sense. Yes, self is a guru, self is we are self, and that becomes guru for the ego to melt and surrender. But even to understand this teaching is our guru. Bhagwan is guru. Guru is the one who finishes your gurur. Gurur is ego. When the ego is rubbed against the stone of self, then ego finishes off. To stay in this inward journey and to finish off this journey is simple but sometimes becomes very difficult. Because we are all grast, we live in family. We have responsibilities to fulfill. And then there are people around us. And everyone has an opinion about things. People can tell you why you are so depressed, always sitting in your room. Why don't you go out? Look, T20 matches are happening in Melbourne. Why don't you go and watch few? Get a t-shirt, go there and support a team. You know, there are so many things to get involved. You can keep yourself busy till your last breath. We call all these things as entertainment. Entertainment, Manoranjan. Entertainment for whom? Whom are you entertaining? Your friends? Your family? Whom are we entertaining? Who wants entertainment? If you simply ask this question, who in us is bored and needs entertainment? People do work and they come home and now they need some entertainment. Few glasses of wine or scotch, a movie, some food, some again entertainment. As if they have done a big thing. Now then this some entity needs to be pleased. Something needs to be pleased. Whom we keep serving all the time like this? And who are we? Like there are two things in us. One needs pampered. We have to work hard. Sometimes even we have to say lies and do all the stupid things in business and job. To feed whom? To feed our family? No, to feed to this ego, this illusory ghost who has entered in this body mind and involves us to do all the wrong acts. How bad this trap is. Understand this trap. Neither we are ego, nor we are this body. Not at all we are any of these thoughts. And still we are trapped in all this. We are that energy. Through this all is in lighting up. But we are never involved. If we go back to that state of uninvolved witness within us, recede back into heart, same body, same mind, will be your slave, your servant. And they will be more happy, your mind will be more happy if you stay as self. Because self never gives any task to mind. Self is not after entertainment. It is supreme bliss. But still you can do these things. I am not against. When I say going out with family but not for seeking pleasure, if that is the intention, that means there is something unhappy within which is looking outside. This is very subtle, very minute, but once you establish, once you look, then everything becomes so clear. Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, when you read from that understanding, when you have put all your sincere efforts and you establish, all things become so crystal clear. Before that, that all understanding is only at intellectual level. When Krishna says he has never indulged in any sensory pleasure, you will think, how can he say that? He had hundreds of queens. Only when you know that if someone established himself, he's not seeking anything. And that is truth. Truth is very simple. We make it so complicated. It is so easy. But we have to know it from the heart. We have to put our heart into it. I know so many spiritual seekers who can't leave their glass of wine they drink every day. And they talk much more spirituality after having a couple of drinks. If you're satisfying your peace by those drinks, how can you taste that nectar? How? That thirst which would have been fulfilled by that absolute, you are just few drinks are satisfying you at this level. You are already stopped in your journey. I don't understand this. Couple of days back, I watched a play on Kabir, Indian saint. Beautiful play on life of Kabir. And can you believe it was sponsored by a new Scotch single malt? They put big banners of single malt all over it. That was not enough. At the end, after everything, they explained about how good this single malt is. Everyone should taste it, and support it. And they said this was our principal sponsor of Kabir. People have lost their mind. And these are the people who were part of this whole play, which they are saying they were practicing for 2 years. 2 years, if you have put yourself in the Kabir's shoes, and you're still promoting a single malt. It is just waste of those 2 years. If you have listened to Kabir's one statement, it can change your life. You will not be selling single malt in name of Kabir. But who understands? I don't know. How dumb a person has to be. Sometimes people think they will continue with their indulgence and one fine day self will come into their life. For them it is like a label. Like I had PhD, I will also have self-realized. Order of Australia medal maybe. It's not that. Sometimes I feel people have to be very thick-skinned not to understand truth. Because truth is so simple, so easy. Only your deep, intense desire is needed, nothing else. It is naked, it is always there. You need humility, you need humbleness. Whenever your mind, your ego pulls you outward, pushes you into the word to seek pleasure, to indulge, just watch and see. Is there no bliss within? Who is the seeker? Who is moving outward? In those moments, in those acts, if you can stay alert, vigilant, then that act will not drown you. Be alert, be alive. This is actually saying on our Vic roads license plates behind our cars. But be alert, then you stay in that aliveness. It's not about alcohol, even any type of indulgence for anything. Takes away this alertness. this beautiful purity. As if we are not satisfied with the perfume coming from inside and we are keep spraying external perfumes rather than trying to get rid of this bad smell of ego, and then what is left is beautiful perfume. We have no patience. We don't wait for that to happen. And so we just buy these perfumes and keep spraying on our body. It is like you have put a tree of apple. Rather than giving good fertilizers, watering this tree of apple, you are so impatient that you buy apples and you put it on this tree from outside. And you think job is done. Grow from within. And one thing is guaranteed, everyone has that self. No one in this world is born without self, that you have to depend on indulgence on external means to get happiness. One can be handicapped in other ways, but not handicapped that you don't have God forget to put a self within you. So your excuse is I have to go out and I have to get all that entertainment stuff because probably he left me. He's so kind. That jewel is in all of us. We have to open it, that's all. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Thank you, everyone.